Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to my channel for another Storm Collectibles 1/6 scale Mortal Kombat 11 figure unboxing and review. Now today we are taking a look at none other than Sub-Zero. All the way back in the Scorpion review, I promised this guy was on the way, and finally he is here. Now I got mine from ToysWonderland.com. Link for that is in the description below. They do have installment plans and a reward system. While you're down in the description, why not hit that subscribe, bell notification icon and join button so you're notified as soon as a brand new review goes live on the channel. As for the box art, it's relatively simple, but there's no denying it gets the job done. Up top, Mortal Kombat 11, down below, Sub-Zero. Front and center, a high-gloss image of the prototype version of the actual figure. On the side of the box, MK11 Sub-Zero, then on the back, a couple of product shots. Now, you all know we're not here to dissect the box art, no, we're here to review Sub-Zero. My poor Scorpion figure has been sitting on the shelf all by his lonesome for the longest time, but now Scorpion is here. Oh, I'm getting ready for some badass ninja posing. Now, first in-hand impressions, seeing as though I already own Scorpion, I reckon they're going to be relatively similar, and yes, they are. But what catches my eye are the ice effects. You all know I love effect pieces. What we are going to do now, though, is get all of his accessories, including those effect pieces, laid out in the light box, and take a closer look at everything he comes with. Starting off with the display base first. I'm going to come right out and say it. I reckon this is terrible. It's all function over form. There's no artwork, there's no printing, it's this ugly frosted clear plastic. It just doesn't float my boat. You do have a bunch of holes up on top, and yes, they are functional. You can take the flight pole and plug it in wherever you want. It's adjustable. You can also move the top piece up and down. The waist clamp is on ratchets, and you can swivel it, plus you get two options. There's this larger spring-loaded waist clamp, and there's a smaller one, so I guess the choice is yours. Not to mention the fact that it's so tiny, if you have him in a wide stance, his legs would be hanging over the edges. Not a great look. Something that does look good though are the ice effects. These are fantastic. I love the sculpt, they're all kinda spiky, they look like ice. They've also cast them in translucent blue plastic so the light passes through, and they've done some white shading over the top. As I said, they look like ice. You don't just have to take my word for it though, you can see the darn things, and there's more of them. You get this frosted spinal column and skull. I like the deeper blue in the recesses, very icy. Then you get his axe, painted in the exact same way. There's some cracking to the blade and some texture sculpted in. Overall, when it comes to effect pieces, this array is bang on. Apparently there is some kind of special Bluefin edition that comes with even more effect pieces with blood on them. I kinda wish I was able to get them, but I can't order from Bluefin. I'm in Australia, they don't ship here. You also though get 4 kunai. They're relatively prickly, so do be careful. I like the deep blue paint, and they do store on the outfit. I'll show you where they go a little bit later. And lastly, a full array of hands. There's multiple gestures from closed fists to open palm hands to kunai holding hands, and these ones, the splayed out fingers. The armor is painted in black and blue, and the skin texture is really well done. They're not super waxy and glossy. Overall, when it comes to hands, these get the job done. What we are going to do now, though, is get Sub-Zero himself out here. Standing straight up and down in the light box, no crazy poses or accessories or anything like that, and Storm Collectibles, you all have done it again, my friends. This guy is awesome. For a fan of the super classic and clean looking ninja design, this guy hits that nostalgia button so freaking hard. As compared to Scorpion, he's pretty much identical. There's a bunch of reused parts and pieces all the way down to the body and most of the armor and most of the patterning for the outfit, but it's still very clearly Sub-Zero. I love the body, it's bulky enough, it's got the big broad shoulders, and the proportions are bang on. He looks like someone you wouldn't want to mess with. Now, he does have the exposed elbow joints and the exposed bicep swivels, but I've kind of gotten over that. It's not something that ruins my enjoyment with Scorpion, and I don't think it will here either. Plus, that blue is piercing. I love the shade of blue, especially on the quilted tunic, and there's even some weathering on the fabric, so he doesn't look brand new. Up close and personal, kicking things off with the head sculpt first. For Sub-Zero, I really like this sculpt. He's got the furrowed brow, a very mean expression, almost cold. I'm so sorry, I had to. I like the big honkin' mask, especially the shade of blue. There's this lighter blue base coat, then this darker blue speckling up on top. It looks worn and weathered. The same thing can be said for the hood. It looks like leather, but it's all sculpted. There's just some clever dry brushing up on top that highlights all that texture. Now, if you're thinking, ooh, it looks a little bit familiar, yeah, it should. Storm Collectibles have been a little bit cheeky. The head sculpt underneath is exactly the same between Scorpion and Sub-Zero. They've literally just changed the mask, painted the eyes, and painted on that scar. Yeah, you heard that right. That scar isn't sculpted, it's all paint. Quite clever, and yeah, a little bit cheeky. You can also still adjust the head sculpt up and down. It's not on a ball joint, it's on this little plug piece. So if you want it sitting a little bit higher or a little bit lower, you can get that done. Am I mad that they just reused that head sculpt? No, not in the least. It makes perfect sense here. It fits the character, they've changed enough so it looks unique in my opinion, and let's be honest, Mortal Kombat, the game, is no stranger to reusing assets. That's exactly what they did back in the day. Their consoles and arcade machines didn't have enough RAM or memory to support the different character models, so they used the same one, they just changed the color. So it kind of works for a Mortal Kombat figure. Now, the body is also borrowed from Scorpion, meaning you do have those ugly elbow joints, although they're not as ugly as the prototype that you saw on the front of the box. The skin texture is nicely painted, there's some vein work and a little bit of wrinkling. You do also have these straps that are adjustable, plus the gauntlets that are a separate piece. You can move them up and down. I mean, pretty much everything here is adjustable. If you want to poof up these bits at the shoulders, you can do that, or if you want to pull this piece down and keep everything nice and flush, you can do that as well. This belt piece is a rubbery plastic overlay, but it kinda looks like leather. There's wrinkling and texture, plus these tassels that are separate pieces. You do have his kunai, and they do slot into these pleather straps. You all know I'm not a huge fan of pleather, but fingers crossed, shoving these kunai in there, they're not causing too much pressure, and these straps don't break over time. His tunic piece is slightly longer, but it's all fabric, so that shouldn't get in the way when it comes to posing. It also has this glossy section down below, but don't worry, that's not pleather, that's just some kind of waxy overlay. If you're wondering what he looks like with the ice effect on, number one, I love this, but number two, it was really hard to do. Storm, you really have to use softer plastic for your hands, cause trying to take the fists off the wrist peg and slot this one on, yeah, it was non-trivial. When you install the ice effect though, you simply slide his fingers through and it's a convincing effect. It's something I can totally see myself using in the display. His pants are a lightweight black fabric, and there's a little bit of space between the pants and the padding underneath, but it doesn't feel like there's too much, it's not overdone. So fingers crossed, it shouldn't impact articulation. Now his knee pads and his shin guards are rubbery plastic, also adjustable, but is it just me, or is this side darker than the other? I'm not sure what's going on, but yeah, you can see it as plain as day. Now, you do have multiple layers of paint, darker blue, lighter blue, and some washes in the crevices, plus the black outlines and some silver pins as well. Then for his feet, they're that classic ninja shoe. I love the way this looks. There's texture, there's wrinkles, like I've said about pretty much all the sculpted stuff, but it's true. There's also some dry brushing, and underneath, some fully sculpted and painted tread. For a quick side-by-side comparison, on the right, Storm Collectibles Scorpion, and on the left, Storm Collectibles Sub-Zero. These two were quite literally designed to be displayed together, and they look fantastic. I'm so happy I jumped in on this line. I was trepidatious, I didn't know if this was going to be any good, but Storm Collectibles, if you keep making MK11 figures, especially the ninjas, oh, I am all in. Now, for some weird reason, Sub-Zero looks ever so slightly taller, and I don't know why. Their legs are roughly the same distance apart, and they're using the same body, the same boots, everything is pretty much copied, so yeah. Where that height difference is coming from, I'm not entirely sure. Going over articulation, do bear in mind, this is my personal copy, so I'm going to be a touch more careful. Also, if you've already seen my Scorpion video, just skip over this segment. His body is the same as Scorpion, so his articulation, it's identical. Starting off with the head sculpt though, it's on a double ball peg and fixed neck. Looking forward and back, swivel and pivot side to side. The arms do go up on super sturdy ratchets too there. They will go forward and back, butterfly joint at the shoulder that also hinges up and down. Swivel at the bicep, double bend at the elbow getting you to 90, plus a hinge and swivel for the wrist peg. The torso does crunch forward and back, swivel and pivot. The legs will go forward to there, going out to there, swivel at the upper thigh, double bend at the knee getting you just past 90, and lastly, a double ball peg down here for the ankle. Wrapping up on Storm Collectibles Sub-Zero in 1/6 scale from MK11 in his classic costume. What a mouthful. But this guy is really good. Is he 100% a flawless victory? No, I don't think so. They're close, but not just yet. The one complaint that I have, and that's a carryover from Scorpion, you can probably guess, the exposed elbow joints, they're just so ugly. Now, yes, they do have an upside. If you want to go crazy with your posing, you can leave them bent. There's no fear of cracking or damage over time. But when you have him just standing there or in a pose that shows off those elbows, then yeah, you're definitely gonna notice them. Everything else, though, gets a tick from me. I don't mind the reused head sculpt or the reused body. I love the colors of the outfit, that kind of deep, rich blue. Plus, the ice effects, they are just icing on the cake. So, if you're a classic or MK11 fan, do you go all in or wait for something else? That's going to be up to you, but for me, oh, I'm going all the way in. Now, I got mine from toyswonderland.com. Link for that is in the description below. They do have installment plans, as well as a reward system. While you're down there, why not hit that subscribe, bell notification icon, and join button. Like, comment, and subscribe. We'll catch you in the next video.